Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
He is wanted in connection with the serious injury of a police officer. The search is on for 20-year-old Joshua Powell tonight. Corpus Christi police began the search earlier today. Now a blue alert has been issued since it's unclear where Powell may be right now.
Now, police are also searching for a green 1999 Buick Regal with Texas license plate CSC 1880. Anyone with any information is asked to call police.
Young children hospitalized with COVID. It's our top story tonight as we hear about more young children in our hospitals. The county judge revealing today that University Hospital admitted an 11-month-old COVID patient.
And a 4-year-old is on a ventilator at the Children's Hospital. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas spoke with the chief medical officer of Christus Health. He explains what parents need to know about how this new variant is impacting children more than the previous variants.
COVID case counts are soaring, and this time kids aren't being spared.
It's alarming. It's scary. At first, I didn't want to get the COVID either. I was dead set against getting that vaccine. And I said, you know what? You got to weigh out the risk. At least protect yourself and protect others, because not just you, that they're concerned with, it's everybody else.
Lena Smith is the mother of a 1-year-old. She says when her son is eligible, she'll get him vaccinated. Until that's possible, Dr. Charles Hankins, chief medical officer of Christus Health, explains the best way to protect kids under 12 is to get those who can vaccinated.
We have just as many patients admitted between the ages of 20 and 40 as we do over 60.
Currently, San Antonio has 63% of eligible people fully vaccinated. Dr. Hankins wants that number to go up to keep children hospitalizations down. He adds in previous surges, at most 2 to 3% of child hospitalizations were COVID-related, and those were usually teens with pre-existing conditions. Now it's at 10%, with half of them in the ICU and the patients' ages even younger.
We had a few newborns that were impacted from the maternal disease that was transferred to them. But our youngest admitted that's on a ventilator in the ICU is 4 years of age.
He explains at this time they aren't exactly sure what the long-term effects for these babies and toddlers might look like. And unlike in previous cases, Delta is hospitalizing kids who don't have underlying health conditions.
Seems to be attacking these children differently, so more aggressive. So not only spreads more easily, but for the population of children, it also seems to be more aggressive.
And with the school year just days away for some, Dr. Hankin fears that child hospitalizations will rise, but he doesn't think kids should stop going to in-person classes. He thinks that they should do that, but they should do that masked up and socially distanced. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, John Paul. Now, concerns are rising in San Antonio. Take a look at this rapid testing site near Fredericksburg Road and Loop 410, bumper to bumper. Cars lining up to try and find out if they have the COVID virus. The people inside those cars are. One woman says she wanted to get tested to make sure her allergies weren't COVID instead.
Been sick and a little under the weather for the past week and a half, so I just wanted to make sure before I head back to the office from working from home.
A reminder, those who are vaccinated can still spread the virus. Health professionals still recommend wearing a mask to avoid unknowingly spreading COVID-19. The vaccine can help you avoid the hospital and serious illness. Dr. Larry Schlesinger is the president and CEO of the Texas Biomedical Research Institute here in San Antonio. They worked with other scientists to come up with a vaccine. He says scientists have been studying mRNA technology for years and have also developed research on the series of coronaviruses. This is what gave scientists an edge when developing the vaccines we use today.
I want to state this vaccine was not rushed out the door. This vaccine represents the extraordinary efforts of scientists working together with healthcare professionals around the world to respond to a crisis and urgency with SARS-CoV-2.
Dr. Schlesinger joined us for our KSAT Q&A at 6 o'clock tonight. You can catch the rest of our conversation with him online if you'd like at ksat.com. A reminder, the state has a mobile vaccine program. All you need is a group of 5 or more to request that team come to you. That group can be made up of co-workers at a business, members of the same family, or a gathering of friends. Doesn't matter. If you would like to request a visit, call the Texas Mobile Vaccine Call Center. That number on your screen, it is 844-90-TEXAS.
He spent over 100 days on life support battling severe complications from COVID-19. Now, that man is home and sharing his story with us tonight. He tells me that he would have gotten the vaccine had it been available to him prior to getting sick.
Thursday, July 29th, 2021 will forever be a special day to Carlos Gonzalez. It's the day the 34-year-old was discharged from Methodist Hospital after spending over 120 days battling COVID-19 on ECMO. ECMO is normally a last resort life support option for critically ill patients. 120 days is also one of the longest periods a patient has been hooked up to a mechanical pump to oxygenate blood.
It is hard to be in the hospital, especially all the medical staff, or what they're going through in there.
Gonzalez said he and his family contracted the virus in February when the vaccine wasn't available to his specific group. But unlike his wife and daughter, he had no symptoms. In fact, he acted as their caretaker until
I got out of breath, and then I rushed out to the hospital, got admitted.
Gonzalez says he stayed on medications, suffered from pain, and was always out of breath.
I got the trach on my throat. I couldn't speak. I couldn't communicate with nobody.
But thanks to the support of his family and this woman you see here, he knew he had to fight. This is 35-year-old Amy Velez, and she too battled COVID and was placed on ECMO life support for over 100 days. She and Carlos were in the same ICU for months, and when she got better, she made sure Gonzalez knew if she could do it, he could too.
I spoke to him and I said, you can do this. God's got your back.
It's just, I never give up.
Gonzalez learned to walk and talk again, and he never lost faith.
Pray one day I'll be home.
And now that is exactly where he is, home, continuing his recovery, COVID-free.
I'm a miracle to be alive.
Now, Gonzalez says it may be a couple of months before he is back at 100%. He still requires 100% oxygen 24/7. He says his family has all been vaccinated, and he wants his story to inspire others to get the vaccine as well. Our coronavirus coverage continues online at KSAT.com. The surge now impacting courts once again. Judge Ron Ronhell now suspending jury service because of the rising cases. The MCKANE trial will continue to move forward with the jury until a verdict is reached. We have the full order online at KSAT.com.
Another developing story tonight, the surge of migrants seems to be increasing. The border city of McAllen sits south of San Antonio. They are opening up a temporary emergency shelter for migrants. This after the respite center set up by Catholic Charities there continues to reach capacity and beyond. An average of 750 people arrived each day to that center at the beginning of July. Towards the end of the month, the city of McAllen says that number increased to 1,100 people. And now the center has seen 1,900 people per day in August. Capacity at the shelter, only a little more than 1,200. The temporary shelter is meant to help relieve some of the strain. The city of McAllen says COVID-19 is complicating matters as well. Catholic Charities, RGV, partnered with another group to get migrants tested for the illness once those migrants are no longer in federal custody. Those who test positive are sent to quarantine sites in the Rio Grande Valley. Those who test negative are allowed to travel to their host families as they await their court cases for asylum.
And more asylum seekers are having to travel through San Antonio to get to their host families. The San Antonio Food Bank says that the need for volunteers is also increasing. Spanish speakers are especially needed during this humanitarian effort. Volunteers would be dispatched to where help is needed, including distributing meals and blankets to the migrants. The City of San Antonio Department of Human Services is coordinating with the food bank. They need volunteers to fill shifts daily, including 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now, if you would like to volunteer, we have a link to sign up on KSAT.com.
A bike-riding gunman getting away, leaving his victims behind. Police say the suspect pulled up to a home demanding money from two men that were just sitting on a front porch. It happened on Parchman near South Flores and Southeast Military. Officers say when those men refused to give the gunman any money, he shot them. Both of the men taken to the hospital in critical condition. The search for that suspect continuing at this hour. Emotions running high as relatives of both slain SAPD Detective Benjamin Marconi and convicted killer Otis McCain took the witness stand today during the punishment phase of the trial. As McCain's mother took the stand, we blurred her face at the request of the court. She pleaded with the court to not give her son the death penalty. However, on the other side, those who knew Detective Marconi mostly spoke about how his death affected them.
But losing a parent on a public scale and in a very tragic and shocking way, it takes a toll on your mental and emotional health.
I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, that this was my brother who had just been murdered.
The trial continues tomorrow with the possibility of more witnesses from the defense. However, jury deliberations could also be close. You can watch the trial live stream tomorrow on KSAT.com. Court is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. New developments expected for Pfizer and its COVID-19 vaccine. Still ahead on the Nightbeat, when it's expected to achieve full approval and what that designation could mean in the fight against coronavirus.
And a local school district says that they were forced to pay more than $500,000 to hackers. One security expert argues that that may not have been the best idea.
Plus, new video just into our newsroom. This crash leaving a passenger van crushed and nearly 12 people dead south of San Antonio. The investigation next on the Nightbeat. A van packed with people rolls over, killing nearly a dozen. Investigators say the 15-passenger van carrying 30 people near Encino, Texas, not far from the Falfurrias border checkpoint. DPS says the driver tried to turn at an unsafe speed, veered off the road, crashed into a utility pole this afternoon. At least 10 people were killed, including the driver. DPS says 20 other passengers were transported to several hospitals. Investigators believe most of the passengers were migrants. The Brooks County Sheriff says the van not being pursued when it crashed. Operation Lone Star meant to combat human smuggling and other crimes. Well, some DPS troopers helping in Operation Lone Star deployed to the city of Uvalde. The mayor there applauding that effort, saying troopers have filled the gaps for a police department that's already stretched thin. We have an interview with Uvalde's mayor and a look at the number of apprehensions and seizures made through Operation Lone Star. The full breakdown online at KSAT.com.
An invoice lays out the $500,000 payment to thieves. Judson ISD now confirming they paid the taxpayer money after they were targeted by hackers. In its statement, the district says it had to do it, quote, to protect sensitive identifiable information from being published, end quote. The personal information of thousands of students and teachers was stolen in June in a ransomware attack.
There's nothing to prevent the attackers from doing this again. Absolutely nothing. And the fact that they were successful in this case just encourages them to do it again.
Gregory White says being prepared could be as simple as regularly backing up data in the event thieves encrypt what's stolen, then demand ransom to unlock it. White shared additional tips on KSAT.com.
By the end of the summer, we could have a fully FDA-approved COVID-19 vaccine. The FDA moving as fast as possible to approve Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. The New York Times says it could happen as soon as Labor Day. Right now, less than half of the U.S. population fully vaccinated. We're averaging more than 85,000 new cases a day right now. The hope is final approval may motivate more people to get vaccinated. It also could prompt more vaccine mandates in the country, and it could accelerate the approval process for vaccines for kids under the age of 12. A lot to watch.
Taking a live look across the city right now. Beautiful. It was a great day today, but I will say I did get a couple of notifications from my Weather Authority app talking about some rain detected nearby.
Yes. And I'm glad you enabled the notifications because they help you out.
Yeah, they wake me up in the morning, too. But that's good. That's good.
Just turn the ringer off on your phone. You'll be good then at night. Now, we did see a few little downpours pop up in and around parts of our area, even downtown San Antonio. We had a little storm, little shower flare up, and especially south of San Antonio, some activity. And we're going to talk more about it here because we have increasing rain chances tomorrow. That's actually the peak for the entire week. We'll see the rain chances still there, but a little bit lower as we get into Friday than this weekend, non-existent. It's just going to be a sunny weekend, a lot of sunshine and seasonable temperatures. Some activity developing down to the south of us, and that's good because they could use it. Look at locations farther south of San Antonio since Sunday. Not really getting as much rainfall as, say, the Hill Country or Highway 90 west of San Antonio, or even in and around parts of Bexar County. But now we're starting to see some more activity, just like we did earlier today. LaSalle, McMullen counties, this is likely to drift northward, and it wouldn't surprise me if we just continue to see other development out there randomly south of town through the night and then potentially even affecting us for the morning commute tomorrow morning. Here's the big picture, and this is important. We've had this stalled frontal boundary just south of San Antonio for several days now. That's going to remain in place tomorrow. This is one of the main reasons why we've had some of those spotty or widely separated downpours over the past few afternoons, especially south of town. But what we also have tomorrow is little upper level support. Little swirl here in Mexico, already generating some showers earlier today and even tonight south of town. And then another little disturbance dropping in from the Panhandle. They're going to help kickstart, I think, more numerous showers and storms into tomorrow. So we go through tonight, some isolated hit or miss showers, morning commute. We'll see some on the radar. The exact location, I think, is still up in the air. Once we get into the afternoon, that's the key, because that's when we'll have a little more energy coming from the sun, and it should help to kickstart more numerous showers and thunderstorms. Not everybody's going to get them. About half to slightly more than half of our viewing area should get at least a raindrop or two, but where we get the heaviest downpours to pop up, we could easily get 1 to 2 inches of rain in a short period of time. We'll be on the lookout for some flash flooding because our atmosphere, it is definitely juiced up with a lot of moisture and ready to just wring it out. 75 this morning, 93 for the high temperature today. What an August. Well below the average high of 97. The record today, 103 back in 1951. That just gives you an idea of the potential. Rock Springs now 77, Laredo only 80, 80 in New Braunfels, 79 Kerrville, 82 now in San Antonio. And of course, we're all feeling the humidity. We're not going to get a break from that anytime soon. Tomorrow morning, mid 70s, by the afternoon, upper 80s to near 90. Hit or miss downpours coming and going during the day tomorrow, especially during the afternoon. And there will be some sunshine in between. By Friday, just some isolated pop-up showers this weekend. We're looking at sunshine and mid 90s, but still right near average then.
Yeah, average, but it's still a little toasty, Adam. Thank you.
All right. He was an all-star as a Spur, retired as a Net. Is he now coming back?
Well, he wants to unretire, but he has not made a firm decision what is standing in his way after he had to retire, he felt, because of a heart condition. When we come back, what is the latest on LaMarcus Aldridge possibly playing in the NBA again? Got it for you. Plus, Bryn Forbes returns to the Spurs. Coming up. Former Spurs star LaMarcus Aldridge is considering a return to the NBA, unretiring if a team will give him medical clearance. As according to ESPN, the reports, Aldridge is expected to have conversations with prospective teams in the coming weeks, but has yet to make a final decision on playing again. Aldridge abruptly retired with the Brooklyn Nets in April after experiencing an irregular heartbeat in a game against the Lakers on April the 10th. Only this time the condition continued into the morning, prompted Aldridge to go to the hospital to get it corrected. It was immediately after that he announced his retirement. Aldridge had 3 episodes that we know of when he played for the Spurs, but they always cleared up and did not last throughout the game. After being benched this past season, Aldridge asked to have his remainder of his contract bought out. The Spurs complied, and on March the 28th, he signed with the Nets, hoping for his first ever trip to the NBA Finals. The Spurs signed him as the prized offseason free agent 5.5 seasons ago. Now that he has won an NBA championship, Bryn Forbes is returning to the Spurs. According to The Athletic, after he turned down his player option on his Bucks contract that would have played another season in Milwaukee, instead he decided to sign with the Spurs again, where he played for head coach Greg Popovich for 4 seasons, starting the last 2, where he scored a career-high 11.8 points in the 2018-19 season. The now 28-year-old averaged 10 points points 19 minutes a game and was crucial in the Bucks' first-round sweep of Miami, where he averaged 15 points per game, 22 in games 2 and 4. But the 5-year veteran did not see much playing time the rest of the playoffs, but still gets a ring. Now headed back to San Antonio, where he should help the Spurs improve their three-point shooting off the bench. Now that DeMar DeRozan has completed a sign-and-trade deal to play for the Chicago Bulls, with the Spurs receiving 2 players and 3 draft picks in exchange, including a number 1 in 2025, it was time for the Spurs' leading scorer to say goodbye on Twitter. I want to take the time to thank the Spurs organization and the fans in San Antonio for embracing me the way they have over the last 3 seasons. The Spurs lived up to their reputation as one of the classiest organizations in the league during my time with the team. I'm grateful for the times I share with my teammates, our coaches, and staff. Thank you. Spurs taking on the other Jazz squad in Salt Lake City tonight, the Jazz Blue squad. The Spurs' 18-year-old draft pick Joshua Primo played well, scoring 11 points, including 1 3 and 4 free throws. Devin Vassell led with 14 points, but San Antonio scored less than they did last night. They shot only 28.6% from the field. Utah led by as many as 25 points again as the Jazz win 78-54. The Spurs have one more game in Utah on Friday against Memphis before going to Las Vegas Summer League.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dak Prescott was one of 16 players left behind in California as the Dallas Cowboys boarded their charter to Canton, Ohio, where they'll meet the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow night in the annual Hall of Fame game. Prescott suffered a setback in his shoulder injury a week ago Wednesday, where he felt pain in his throwing arm, and later an MRI would detect a muscle strain. The setback coming after Prescott has spent the last 9 months working his way back onto the field, following the worst injury of his football career in Week 5 of last season. Among the 16 not making the trip, there are 7 starters remaining in Oxnard that include tackle Tyron Smith, wide receiver Amari Cooper, and defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence. UTSA unveils their state-of-the-art athletic facility. Next. The brand new University of Texas' San Antonio Race Center was officially opened today. It stands for Roadrunner Athletics Center of Excellence. It's a $41 million athletic training facility located on almost 11 acres of land. It was made possible by gifts, the City of San Antonio 2017 bond referendum, and the Roadrunner Foundation. Outside of the building, 2 practice fields, one synthetic, the other natural turf, that will help the Roadrunners in Division I recruiting.
If you don't do anything else, grab a coach or grab a student athlete during your walk around and ask them what it's like to walk through this and compare it to Power 5 programs around the country. What you're going to hear is it's no different. It is the equivalent of a Power 5 facility right here on our campus.
You go around those facilities and we've just dramatically improved them. They are what our student athletes need now, and particularly from a sports medicine perspective, we've been operating in a modular building, in a trailer for the last 10 years. So for them to have this facility, it's going to do wonders for our student athletes.
Inside the 95,000 square foot facility includes a 7,500 square foot locker room, 120 lockers and players' meeting rooms, along with coaches' offices that actually overlook the practice fields. Star quarterback Frank Harris got to see it for the first time today. There's also 14,000 square feet for strength and conditioning that features a state-of-the-art weight room, a sports medicine facility with exam treatment and recovery rooms. It also includes hydrotherapy and aquatic equipment, and 7,000 square feet of academic spaces with a study hall and 10 private tutoring rooms.
You know, we've got a great university, we've got a great city, we've got a great place to play, and now we've got a great place to dress and work out and academics and so much. We're on an equal playing field now.
First day of fall camp is tomorrow, where the team will get its debut of the new facility. That's what Coach Traylor was talking about earlier today. He can hardly wait to film the players arriving and seeing this brand new home for them.
Called the Race Facility, correct?
You got it.
So they're off to the races.
Yes, they are.
At UTSA.
And competing in Division I. We like that. Yes.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
All right, check this out. It's an Olympic maze set in a field in Bavaria, Germany. Every year, a family creates a design for visitors to walk through. This year's theme, the Tokyo Summer Games. The designs are mowed by father and son. The rest of the family guides visitors to find hidden symbols, play games, and help with quiz questions.
It's pretty neat right there.
Yeah, very cool.
Good idea. You know, tomorrow we'll actually see a few showers around here, naturally watering some crops, lawns, and gardens, and actually it's our best chance of rain. Consequently, temperatures well below average for this time of year. Most of us in the upper 80s to near 90. 86 Leon Springs, 88 La Jolla, La Vernia, only a high of 88. Rain chances fall off Friday, non-existent this weekend.
Thank you, Adam. That's it for the Nightbeat GMSA at 4:30.
Have a good night.